Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about modals in Bootstrap. What is a modal window? A modal window is a window which pops up when you clicks on something or when you have to download something, but it keeps on asking about service and all, or when it asks for subscriptions and newsletters with a pop-up with that black background behind it. So if you first thing you have to do is just to close the button, or you have to click outside to remove that window. So that's a modal window, and in this video, I'm going to create a little modal window in Bootstrap. So for creating a modal window, we have a div class of modal, and I'm going to give it an ID of modal1. This is for making a change. I'm going to explain this later on. And inside this, I'm going to create another div with a class of modal dialog. And inside this, I'm going to create another div with a class of modal content. I know it's a little bit divs, but we have to create that's a markup in the Bootstrap, and inside a model we have three things as usual, like that in panels. We have a header with a modal header class, and we have a footer with a modal footer, and we can have a modal body. So I'm going to create another div with a modal header and a class of modal header, and inside this I'm going to put my heading and a button with a class of button type close, and we have a data dismiss modal. So what this does basically, we are telling the button to actually close the modal, and content for the button is I'm gonna add HTML attribute of times, which is an X button, and for the heading I can use h3 with a class of modal title, and this is the heading. So if I save this and preview in the browser, as you can see, nothing happens because we have to first trigger the model to by a button or something. So I'm gonna add a button to trigger a model after the container tag. Add a button type button, class is btn, and let's say we have a blue btn primary, and we have another class of data toggle, which tells us to trigger the modal, and we have another class of data target, what model we are going to toggle, and that target is, as you can see, we have the ID right here of model1. So this button is gonna look for the ID, which model to target, and with an ID of model1, it's gonna activate the model whatever. So I'm gonna add a sign, and this is the ID. So for the button content, I'm gonna add activate the modal, save this. So as you can see, this is not the primary button. We made a mistake, I think. As you can see, this is the mistake we have done. Okay, so control save this, preview in the browser, and now it is blue. Click this, and oh, another one. This cross should be right here. So I'm gonna close this and check it out. This is the button right here, and as you can see, yeah, there it is. The type is button and the class is close. So that was the mistake. I'm gonna save this and preview in the browser. I can't believe this. So as you can see, this is the heading and this is the close button, and if I click outside, it fades right away. Now the model div model content model header is done. Now I'm gonna add the content with the div class is model body, and inside this I'm gonna go to a lorem ipsum website and paste this text, copy this, and save this. As you can see, this is the lorem ipsum text, this is the heading, this is the close button. We can also add the footer by the class of footer, div with the class of model footer. Inside the footer I'm going to create two buttons with the anchor tag with a class of btn, let's say default. This will be the close button, and another button is another button will be for download or whatever, OWN load, and this first one is gonna close the modal window, so I'm gonna add another class of .data dismiss modal. Save this and preview in the browser, and I'm gonna change this to let's say primary. Save this. Oh, there must be a mistake. I think we did it again. There is a can't believe this. Again, the same mistake. I don't know what's happening right now. So if I click this, as you can see, the download button and the close, if you click the close, this is gonna dismiss it because of the class of data dismiss modal. And you can also add a little fade in effect inside a modal. For example, inside this div class of modal in which we gave the ID, I'm gonna add another class of fade. Save this, preview in the browser. So if I click this button, as you can see, it fades. So click this again, as you can see, there is a little fade effect. We can also change the size. For example, let's say we want to make it large. So I'm going to add a property of model LG. Save this. If I click this, as you can see, this is now a large. We can also add small with the SM. Save this. As you can see, the small modal. So if I drag this, and as you can see, it fits perfectly in a responsive window. Let's make it large. LG, save this. So if I just click this button, as you can see, this is the modal, and as you can see, it fits perfectly with the screen. So